even though the best part of January is still on the way, as we mentioned before, these past few days have been a blessing in disguise and we had no idea it was going to be this big. Anyway, we have actually managed to curate another good list of over 20 new games you should definitely check out this week. Number 1, to kick things off with some noise, as we always do, Bright Memory Infinite is finally out and it's totally worth checking out. I played it on Android and it is pretty much everything you'd want from a fast-paced action shooter. The graphics are seriously impressive for a mobile game, I mean way better than you'd expect on a phone, and the gameplay is non-stop action. Plus, the price tag at $5 is kind of a steal for the quality that you're gonna get. I mean, this remastered edition has clearly taken the feedback from the previous release into account. It's smoother, more refined, and has received overwhelming praise. You won't regret it. Listen guys, Once Human is finally opening its pre-registrations campaign for mobile, and it's looking like it's gonna be worth the wait. I mean, NetEase's, for those of you who missed it, supernatural survival RPG here is setting the stage for a huge launch, full launch in April, and they're not even holding back with the rewards. If you're into open world survival with a supernatural twist, Once Human looks like it's bringing the heat. Not only that, it's kind of surprising it took this long for Once Human to land on mobile, especially given how successful the company has been with its other releases. If you're into a mix of hunting, exploration, and survival, this is simply a must-play. With that being said, if you are in need of an intense ride, Trial Xtreme Freedom has everything you need. A fast career mode, global PvP, and custom bike crafting, letting you race through a diverse set of tracks, unlock achievements, and upgrade your rides as you take on different challenges. Not only that, you can team up with friends in clan tournaments or compete for the top spot on global leaderboards, offering real-time PvP, super nice graphics, and realistic physics. Basically every race feels like a rush. Number 4, not available exactly, it's available in pre-register, we tried it recently, but for those of you who are eager to try this one out, Tiny Robot's Portalscape is bringing some real puzzles one more time. This game builds off the success of Tiny Robots Recharge with a cool escape room concept, in which you'll take on the role of Telly, another robot on a mission to save his kidnapped grandpa through different realities, facing all sorts of challenges. The game is packed with over 50 levels, crafting minigames, bosses, and even character customization. Suffice it to say, if you're into brain-teasing adventures, this could be one to watch, especially with Snapbrick's track record.
Meet Kyle. He's the best darn janitor at Howlin' Hugs.
Number 5. Well, we've got here something called the WereCleaner. I would have to say it's a pretty wild stealth comedy game that's as much about cleaning up as it's about controlling your inner chaos yourself. You play as a cleaner in a constantly changing office space, armed with gadgets to deal with all kinds of mess and even the aftermath of your own rampage. The game also takes place in a pretty unique, interconnected world with hidden routes and lots of details that make exploring an adventure itself. It is a mess of fun, chaos, and basically laughs all wrapped into one game. Crunchyroll just added Tengami to its growing library, and I gotta say, this game is a total vibe. This is like walking through a pop-up book, but not the usual kind. Beautifully crafted Japanese themed world made entirely out of paper. You'll explore forests, shrines, and much more, all while solving puzzles that require you to literally fool your way through the game. The visuals are stunning, and the soundtracks are actually from the genius behind the Donkey Kong Country tunes, one of my childhood nostalgies, and it's definitely adding to the experience. If you've got a Crunchyroll premium membership, you can play this one for free. With that being said, at number 7, Dragon Quest X Awakening of the Five Tribes is a fantastic RPG for anybody craving a deep offline experience with all the magic of the Dragon Quest universe. First of all, it's a $12 game, not free. It's set in a world full of different races and captivating landscapes. The best part is you get to enjoy the main story, complete with some really good looking cutscenes and battles voiced by talented actors, all without needing to be connected online, also with the controller. The adventure is huge, you travel across continents, team up with friends, and take on challenges together, plus the recent graphic updates really make the world pop up on your Android and iOS. Number 8. Crazy Ones is out now, finally, and it's actually shaking up the otome in a big way. If you're wondering how it stands out, here's the scoop. This one is a male-eccentric turn-based otome game, which is a fresh take in which you play as a guy who's thrown into this wild world of big businesses. And of course, romance and drama then follow you on your journey. Along the way, you're gonna date 4 totally different ladies, each with their own personalities. I'm not gonna get into that. The real twist is that though the battles are in turn-based and it uses card-based on the main character's memories. So really good. It's a pretty interesting mix of strategy and romance, something not often seen in the otome genre. If you are missing Gundam vs Gundam, well, Star Wars is a solid replacement. Just landed on mobile after a whopping year since its PC release, this game pretty much nails the cost system, movesets, and team dynamics while adding smoother servers with almost zero connection issues. It's also more approachable for new players with detailed move lists and video demos explaining each attack, plus there's handy input buffer during bursts to prevent stolen moves. This game is a PvP gacha and feels just as satisfying and frustrating at times for a fighting game. Definitely a fun experience for fans of this particular genre.
Hands in the sky! Okay, I'll give you the money. Just don't hurt me, please.
At number 10. See, Pro York is actually a city adventure where you can live out your criminal fantasies, kind of like the Grand Theft Auto. Here you're gonna be driving cars at full speed, from basic rides to flashy sports cars, all while pulling off heists. In fact, the thrill of the game comes from robbing stores and grabbing as much cash as possible, but you're gonna need to watch out for the cops as well. And if you're into firepower, you can buy anything, from small guns to heavy machine guns and even tanks. This game is basically all about survival and making it in a big city full of missions. You know the drill. Anyway, on the other hand, we've got here one of my favorite games, although this has been released in multiple formats ever since its original console game, but Retro Killer blends vintage stuff with modern gameplay for a nostalgic yet fresh first-person experience. I mean, imagine getting down into the bold black and white graphics while blasting through all kinds of levels with all kinds of enemies. I mean, the arsenal of weapons keep things pretty exciting as you strategize to fight each level that brings a new challenge, so you will also need to sharpen your skills and master the art of survival here. Retro Killer is kind of a perfect mix of retro vibes and modern gameplay with hours of fun for free.
Ragnarok. The signal of the end of the world.
If you're up for a survival RPG that you can play with one hand, this game might be calling your name. Literally. Valhalla Survival Beauty here throws you into a world inspired by Norse stuff, with hack and slash roguelike combat and some stunning visuals to back it up. You get to pick from 3 distinct classes, dive into over 100 different stages, and mix and match skills and items to create your ultimate build. And of course, there are plenty of dungeons to conquer and bosses to defeat. It's a good game, it's free, it's playable online.
The songs of old, they claim that none can kill.
Well, number 13, we've got finally released officially Dungeons & Dreadrock 2. Well, this is a pretty clever blend of nostalgia and modern puzzle design, offering a very unique twist on dungeon crawling. The bosses are brilliantly tricky, sometimes outrageous, just devilish, so you can go right ahead and expect to feel like a genius one moment and utterly brain dead in the next minute, like I have. However, the game's hint system is a lifesaver, providing guidance in a pretty funny way, which says let me do it for you. Anyway, the precision is the key, and nailing those moments with perfect timing is immensely satisfying. Dungeons & Dreadrock 2 is a pretty rewarding, brain-bending adventure. On the other hand, we've got something here called Pal Go Tower Defense TD. I've spent some time with this one, and it's a pretty fun twist on the whole tower defense genre. You're a monster hunter yourself, defending kingdoms from a villain, and trust me, things get pretty hectic with this one. What makes this game interesting is the merging mechanics. You can combine your units to level them up, which really spices up the strategy, not to mention the PvP battles are pretty intense as well. I've been caught off guard a few times, but when you nail the strategy with this one, it feels amazing. Number 14, we've got here a idle RPG where you can collect and battle these machine girl units to save this ruined world. I mean, that's for the story. This game has daily freebies, free loots, and it's quite easy to pick up and pretty hard to put down. I mean, besides the usual idle RPG stuff, the world is in chaos. I mean, as in for the plot, but you're going to be needing to lead a team of beautiful robots and mecha girls to fight back the evil. The battles run at 3x speed, so even new players can feel the grind, and don't worry, your team keeps working even when you're offline. With that being said, at number 16, we have Kung Fu Star TW. It's another martial arts based but casual yet idle style RPG with over 200 plus stars to recruit and build your perfect team. This game's all about gathering characters and using magic skills to crush the bosses. You don't have to stress much since it's pretty straightforward. All it needs is to pump up your heroes and watch your team get stronger. It's a no-brainer for a solid laid-back experience. If you want more though, there's plenty of strategy in the battles and tons of levels to keep you busy. For those of you who couldn't play this one really due to limited regions before, well, Underworld Gang Wars is out now, and it's set right in the heart of a vibrant island inspired by India. And it doesn't matter where you're firing from, whether it's a rooftop or you're just sneaking through the slums, there's always something to do and somebody to shoot. You can go solo, team up with duos, or roll the squad of 4, depending on how you like to play. If you're into tactical plays or just want to go all out in a battle royale, this one's got you covered. It's a big game though, roughly 3 GB in size. Number 18, we have Super Farming Boy, which just hit iOS, and it's as wacky as it really looks right over here. In this game, you're thrown into a wild mix of action, puzzle, and farming sim, where instead of tools, you become the tool. You transform into a shovel, hammer, or watering can as you farm to save your mom and your friends from a greedy corporation. I mean, it's like Stardew Valley, but with some weirdness. There's radioactive seasons, underwater farming, and boss fights that threaten your crops. If you're into eccentric, fast-paced farming chaos, this one's definitely got you covered. On the other hand, Super Runner's City Chase is another good addition to your list if you're craving some more running action, or just taking a break from the old Subway stuff. It's the same action. For those of you who played the Subway stuff, obviously you gotta run, jump, slide, and dodge, and unlike new people, each with their own special abilities. Collecting coins and energies are essential to take gadgets, challenges, and try new maps, in any which there are tons of missions, new skins, and leaderboards. It's pretty fun, a fast adventure that definitely keeps you on your toes sometimes. Number 20, we've got Heroes Adventure. I would have to say this is a decent addition in our list. Although a paid game, it's the open world woo-ha RPG where you start small but quickly get swept to the martial arts world. You're gonna be meeting all kinds of characters, make decisions that affect your relationships with different factions and people, and learn over 300 different martial arts skills that help you each with a different boss fight. There are over 80 cities to explore. This is a huge game. There's always something happening, and your choices actually shape the story, leading to multiple possible endings. It looks old, but it's gold. And finally, last but not least, we've got Cyber Control, Another Life, which puts you into the cyberpunk world where you play as a border guard, making tough choices every day. It's all day checking documents, deciding who crosses, and dealing with the consequences. You can shape your character's personality and story from the start and decide whether you're a cold and efficient or compassionate and seeking justice person. There will be over 35 different endings prepared for your decisions. This game reminds you that every choice, no matter how small, can actually lead to life or death in a gritty, morally gray world.